Inferno, where so many maps and so many series are decided. Well, now it's just our second map, and we're on even footing now. MIBR able to close out Nuke in overtime means that we're knotted up 1-1. This is basically a BO3 from here on out. That's how we can reframe this.
Yes.
Both teams now need to win 2 of the next 3 maps.
Yeah, and here on Inferno, EG has had MIBR's number over the last 3-0, in fact, and there was one very one-sided match in Challenger League Season 43 this season, in the regular season, where it was 16-9 in favor of EG. The other two were close, 13-16 and 14-16. BRN's going to get the opening frag here on Walco, make it a quick 5v4. And of course, MIBR no slouches on Inferno. They've just been struggling against EG as of late. That's it.
Yeah. And they continue to shift. They continue to improve. This pistol round looking all right. George stuck in the bedroom, but it's Brackets control that they'll take, and no one's actually contesting this. So they get a bit of a freebie there from the balcony, though. JOTA makes it anything but free. Charges a steep cost indeed. And, well, he's going to be overwhelmed in towards the pit, but he's done his work. The A-site defenders have made this a little bit more viable, and now the dualies strike to deny the bomb plant, and this is tough. Everybody's here. The reinforcements, the peaks, they're all well-timed. Turtle gets them. Bomb down. That's money at least secured by Wiz, but there's nothing they can do about actually contesting the round.
Yep, another pistol round going the way of MIBR, as was the case on Nuke on CD side. They get this one as well here on Inferno. MIBR, looking at their record on Inferno over the last 3 months, 10-5. But if you take away the losses against EG, they're 10-2. Oh, man. It really has just been almost purely EG that are beating MIBR on this map. Looking at the stats, of course, for EG, those are excellent. 15 games played over the last 3 months, 12-3 record with a plus 75 round differential. It has been their bread and butter.
Well, the force buy through here. Walco trying to take this space aggressively. He's got it. He's top car. Tons of utility dumped here by MIBR, but not to great effect. They lost the space, and they didn't do really any damage. Tiny bit on the Walco. And he actually, having put the threat into their mind, is going to shift away. EG showing a different look here. The thing that impressed us most in their matchup against MIBR the last time in the upper bracket was the mid-rounding.
Yes.
Was the timely rotation into the soft side. Have the same success here. Double peek is effective, but the trades are there. And now, a mow down. Henny, the Molotov did not spread to the cubby. They didn't realize it. Bomb's going to go down, but this is a tough situation for EG. They don't have the health for this post. It's going to be a real challenge. George needs to be good from the pit. Is there utility to dig him out? No. Fortunately for George, there are no Molotovs. There are no HEs. That is a blessing. Time's starting to get low. No kits either, John. That could become a concerning factor. He's going to preemptively give himself a little bit of cover to operate on. He's trying to go for a cheeky ang. He's going to need the cheekiest of angs. He's dead now, and there's the cleanup. No need for kits. They've got just enough time to get this defuse through. MIBR, keep it rolling here with 2. Just enough. No problem. No hesitation. No doubt.
BRN had to get those 2 kills quickly, and he did absolutely that. Going to be a 2-0 start for MIBR, and the force buy on EG side doesn't really work out. And yeah, you're right. I mean, they didn't realize that the Molotov didn't bloom all the way in towards Cubby. So Henny pops up, says, okay, I'll just get some nice frags here, at least 1, do the damage on the second, and then make it much harder for EG to hang on to the A site. So EG will now settle for a little bit of a buy-up, at least upgraded pistols. 2 techs, 2 deagles. Stan's just going to try and charge up and get into the base of MIBR. He is in the smoke. They don't know he's in this position, but they're waiting for someone to potentially try and push out. And, well, I think he's lost his window of opportunity to get to the upper hand in that position.
That would have been a little cheeky. That smoke fade, you could have gotten the chin shot from Stan. As it is, instead, once again, we're going to get an attempt at Brackets control, and there's just not a lot of util left to do it. Bomb down. Bomb spotted and down. Provided they don't blunder their way into Stan's crosshair, this should be a tough hold. And actually spotting that player might be forward. Are they going to still assume he's been so patient on this?
No, they're clearing it.
And they still clear it, but he's a little quicker on the trigger. Can't get the rifle. Damage elsewhere. This is starting to get a little interesting, folks. And less so now. Turtle calms it all down. Throws some water on this fire. reduces it to just a slow ember.
He's a Squirtle turtle, putting out the fire. And MIBR, well, 3-0 lead. It was scary. A little bit of damage being done by EG, right? A couple of players go down, forced in the reinvestment. So it keeps the economy honest on the MIBR side at the very least. But Evil Geniuses want to find a lot more than that, and they're hoping to do so. Of course, with a full-on buy-up coming through, 4AKs, the op, full util, Wiz going to be charging up. They want that banana control. We saw how fiercely contested it was in that previous BO3. And Evil Geniuses like to play the mind games, of course. Like to rotate back and forth and try to convince MIBR to go for those rotations based on util sets. And, well, nice flashbang thrown by Wiz to support support Stanislaw, I should say, on the frag for BRN. But Exit gets the immediate trade. And now we have a 4v4, even numbers.
It feels like one of the big differences here between last time and this time, early on, still extremely early on, is you saw those moments for EG where a player would slip through, Stanislaw in this instance, get a kill, and then they followed up on the second. This time around, the correction of mistakes is instant. MIBR seems so dialed in, so very focused here.
Yeah, and I think there were a lot of rotations that came out too early for MIBR as well, which cost them, and I think they've had maybe some time to adjust to that, or at least talk about it, right? JOTA's going to take down Rush, trying to get into bracket. Turtle's exposed, so he will go down after the smoke fade. Still even numbers, Henny a chance to strike, and he is good again. The bomb, yes, lost towards Banana, and George's life is forfeit as well. Walco, last one standing, going to try and retrieve the bomb here. 36 seconds left to make something happen.
Wiz trying to make that fight completely solo. Bit of a head scratcher for me. This is going to be a save. The op will withdraw. They'll try and make something happen around it in the next, but maybe thought the panic rotate would come in and he could get some space for free, or at least that B player would shift back. The problem was his teammates hadn't actually taken any control towards Archer, and he threatened onto the B, or onto the A site rather, right? So,
right.
Be a non-starter for the Evil Geniuses. Some of their T side woes perhaps carrying over from Nuke.
Yeah, I mean, look, Nuke was perhaps even a surprise pick for EG. I think they were honestly thinking Vertigo would come through again, and with it not, and you know, MIBR taking a chance going to that, having never played on the map against EG before, and now it works out. You know, I think there's a little bit of shakiness on the EG side. Their confidence may have been rattled just a touch. Coming back in here, going for the half buy, Wiz with the saved op, and everyone else upgrading to techs. Playing a little slower, perhaps to give that op a chance to ring true here. Wiz just going to march his way up to bracket. No one contesting at all for MIBR. They're giving EG the space this time because right now MIBR is just trying to control Banana because EG really were effective at taking it away from them in that previous BO3. And now that they realize they have it, they can send a couple of players back and leave perhaps BRN here to anchor down the site.
Free brackets control being allowed. This is the difference, right? You go for that aggressive banana control after 50 seconds have gone off the clock. Well, you don't have the numbers to really fight for this first toehold. But now you're gonna have the numbers. Now you're gonna have the stack. Now you're gonna have MIBR with everybody on the scene. As this hit comes through, here's gonna come the motion. They can't find first contact. That cap in the smoke, so punishing JOTA, exploiting it beautifully. This could be all falling apart. George, though, George has other things in mind.
What?
A 2-on-2 now. The bomb going to be planted. George slipped into the pit. Maybe they'd rather the op was here, but it is what it is now. BRN's working his way all the way through the apartments. That'll whittle some time off this clock. They don't have kits on these players, but there is one down towards the site. So kit shouldn't be the deciding factor here. It'll be recoverable. It's a good clear. BRN patient on it. George wanted the information, wanted to peek, and BRN does it all. Does it all on the retake. Plenty of time to get this bomb defused.
I mean, still, George and Wiz made that scary for MIBR, right? A 2v5, and they just storm onto the A site and do so much damage. George in particular, I mean, he was just popping and locking heads there to get that space to at least find that bomb plant. The thing is, no round victory. Loss bonus being full and $800 additional in their bank means another full-on buy-up coming through, but they need to start getting those rounds. MIBR looks so calm, cool, and collected right now. It's very reminiscent of what they did yesterday up against Team 1 on Inferno when they won 16-6.
Stan burning. He's now sent up a big old signal that he might be here. So time to get out of here before the nades do follow. There's those nades. A Chihuahua. But he's not there anymore. 30 seconds into this round, we're going to get another fight here towards brackets, but this time Turtle brings the fight to them. He gets one and he's away. Scot-free. Pressure towards the board. George! Again! The linchpin here. The timing on that hit from George is perfection. And a smoke up to block Henny's view. That could be the deciding factor. MIBR have shown conservative tendencies, and they're already backing away. This is going to be EG on the board for the first time in this game.
Oh, man. Finally, the weakness is showing here in their defense. Apartments left open for George twice, and twice he has punished them. This time, it leads to a round victory, and EG finally going to crack that scoreboard. Oh, man. I mean, George is just so good. I mean, on every map, but Inferno in particular, he just finds his rhythm. Just send him out on that lurk, and he opens up the space.
Yeah, absolutely does. Timing from the apartments. I mean, he knows that they're backing off from that mid-fight, right? So it is perfectly timed to catch them in rotation. A little bit of chaos, a little bit of discord. Just the right moment. MIBR, though, did a great job of keeping their economy sustained on Nuke in some of those early, rougher rounds. Employed those same philosophies here on Inferno. Gets them at least one more. What's the change up to the look here? Is there one? It was the aggression in towards brackets this time, in towards that mid-fight, that actually did catch them off guard. So MIBR maybe going to sit back on their haunches a bit more here, John?
Perhaps, yeah. I think they're going to leave at least one player to watch the apartments in the... Maybe not in the early round, because, right, you can still peek around and watch mid. But once there's time for EG to push up mid, then make sure you have someone watching apartments, because you don't want George to do that again, and he is going to be there again. That said, look, Stanislaw is going to get the opener here onto BRN towards top of Banana, and that will attract at least some attention into this B site, and that's when EG really flourishes on Inferno. When they get that opener and they can start to play the mind games and create threats in the minds of MIBR that might not be there, they get scary.
Stanislaw tucked here. And they have gone for the gamble on the MIBR side, which means that this... Oh, no. EG. I was going to say this round is over, but no. Instead, they're coming back towards B. They're funneling in towards the site. Having found the kill on Stan, they're going to start to rotate off. But 50 seconds on the clock. There's still a lot of map to play with. It was a free A site, and they didn't realize. They never went across. They never went around. Instead, they peek into an open. What a strange miss from Henny. That's a sitter. Peeking right into the crosshair. And a bit of a blunder. Now they're locked out. A flashbang through. Exit wants to go for this, and he will challenge, and no one's watching his way. Exit, though. It's only one. Control still here for the evil geniuses. JOTA might challenge again. Bombs down. Ticking away now. JOTA just on the other edge of this smoke. Just a few wispy particles between him and his foe. As it fades, he inches his way forward. No one's giving him an inch, though. So he's got all this space. Beckons Turtle in. They'll try and play off of each other, but it's Wiz is the insurance policy that's the true danger here. They have to deal with him. They don't have any utility to block off his vision, and the timing from the new box peek will be perfect. JOTA alone, spotted now. They know he's close. The swing comes in, the punish with it.
I think the save was perhaps on JOTA's mind, but you have nowhere to go. You have to fight at that point once you're that committed into the site. And, well, he gets taken down. Second round found for EG. It all starts with the opening frag from Stanislaw, but things got a little hairy here. Exit could have had two, but his spray was not good enough. And then it's only the one and done, and after that, EG's able to take control of the site, and they never rescind it. So, oh boy, each team trying to read the other. I think MIBR was floating off the B site at one point, too, because they thought that EG was going to go back to A. So it was both teams trying to outread each other. And in the end, outplaying themselves almost in both cases. Oh boy.
Boy, indeed. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Hero rifle here for exit is interesting.
Yeah.
With a single Zeus. What can Turtley Hero do? The power of electricity in the palm of his hands. Answer is I'm still going to think probably not much. Rush coming on. Henny re-smokes. Rush does not want to push this. And actually, there's not a lot of util on the EG side. They let time get short, as they are sometimes want to do. The actual site take could be a bit toothless. Though at the end of the day, shooting their way out of it is a very viable strategy.
That smoke's a little off there for library if the minimap's any indication. I think it's a little too far up front, which leaves a gap towards the site.
Minimaps do be liars sometimes.
Yeah, I think it might be lying. Anyway, EG, regardless, are going to gain the space up through Arch into CT.
They're going to hit the hard site.
Yeah, but this should be easier with they... Oh, okay, maybe
Ooh,
X going to get the opener here.
You see the rifle? How are you reading this?
You have Rush to work with.
But Henny's talked, so that flank's not going to be that effective from Rush. Henny's watching this. Henry's watching for this exact play. Does Rush get him? Well, they kill the rifle. It's going to be down. No one's watching. No one's watching the cross. They've just left it unsmoked, and they're not watching it. A blunder at a costly time. Perhaps the bomb's still going to be down. It's just a retake with USPs. It's just a retake with USPs, EG say, in their minds. Much more costly there on the cross. Now Henny's gone. It's just the banana players they have to worry about. And there is an AK found. So JOTA says, you know what? That's enough.
Yeah.
Time to get out of here.
Definitely no reason to recommit the AK, but hey, look, Turtle's got nothing to lose. He's got a Zeus. Maybe pulls out the Zeus and tucks himself into a corner and tries to get an exit. I don't know.
No,
but either way.
Dead.
Except he's on the same team, Mike.
Well, you know, he could still try.
Yeah, he could.
It would be a good idea, but he could try and exit in any round.
Oh, jeez.
All right.
That bomb explosion radius, man. George gets caught off.
Inferno takes no prisoners now. That is, I mean, it's a lot of money taken off. The T side is resilient enough that it won't come back to bite them anytime soon. But for MIBR, without one found AK, now they can buy around it. Now this round is where they might show some impact.
3 in a row, though, for EG. That's what they needed. I mean, it's off the back of a couple of hero plays by George. 1, to limit the economy of MIBR in the following round, and 2, to just straight up win it after taking that A site. So they can continue to make things happen here. Obviously, George is going to need a little assistance. It can't just be him. Last time it was Walco and George combining to do tons of damage. EG taking their time here, heavily favoring this mid fight and not committing that much utility towards Banana at all. They've still got almost a full set on everyone. Now they come in, the smokes, the flashes. They have to be careful. There's a setup here towards Arch, and he gets 1. JOTA tucked in. They don't clear him. He gets a 2K. Stan and Walco are down, and it's falling apart for EG.
JOTA cleaned out at least, but yeah, this is Titanic labor required of them now. Peek in, the pit player punishing. Look at the damage that's been done, and they still have to contend with Henny just talked. And they're not aware. They're not aware. The kill on, but Henny there for the cleanup. BRN even in for the finisher. And MIBR stands strong.
Oh my goodness. Another oversight towards Cubby. It's Henny again. I think it's actually JOTA this time in the Cubby, but still Henny was there to support. Gotta clear it. And Stan's like, oh, wait, I gotta clear Cubby. Oh, yeah, a little too late by that point for Stan as he goes down, turning around, right?
At some point, you got to imagine a Molotov starts getting committed, but...
Yes, absolutely, but it should have been committed already.
Yeah,
they had a full util set.
They have the full util. There's no gaps in it. So whether that's an individual making an oversight or a strategic flaw, it's definitely costing evil geniuses here.
Yep.
Gotta get that molly in. They're going to take a little bit of time here, and unfortunately, it seems like, nope, we're right back in. Okay, all good. Nope, we're right back out. Okay, seems like we're going to need a little bit of time here, folks. We will actually... we are back here. We are back. I knew it would be quick. I knew it would be quick. I could feel it in my bones and in the chat log that we get. But for MIBR, they're hoping that it was quick because they're ready to get back into this advantage now for them. Momentum in their favor. It's another full buy up from EG, but this is where the bank will run out. We need to see that T side buttoning up these mistakes. You still have a chance to keep the defensive economy limited. You can keep them down. Here, this is a huge swing, and Exit will swing into his demise, lit up like one candle on the menorah, and it's the first night of Hanukkah.
Yeah, and I mean, Stanislaw gets the opener again, so he's doing that work towards Banana. That's what they need from him. And Evil Geniuses rotate back to A, tossing the util in. They don't leave someone behind at B, which they usually have in the past to try and create more utility there. And look at this, Rush and George go down immediately. Then Walco is the next victim. He does get one at least, but that's not going to be enough at all. Wiz, last one standing off in his hands. This is a far cry at success. As Wiz comes out, he's dead. And he tells up the pistol, and that's it, Mike.
A little bit of interesting play there from the balcony. They were really committed to trying to get that one more frag. I had 50 seconds. It's not like there was a time limitation there, but...
No, yeah.
I mean, once Stanislaw gives up his teammate towards Walco... So the idea is Walco's supposed to swing, Stan's supposed to be watching for the pit peak, right? Walco gets killed, and then Stan gets killed. Not exactly the way that setup's supposed to be working, but then Wiz committing back in. I mean, it wasn't looking like a likely round regardless, but economic damage certainly would have been nice, and instead now, you got a hero AK for Rush, you got pistols out for the majority of them, you got Stan already getting naded to oblivion, you got MIBR suddenly in a great situation of the first half of Inferno.
It feels like there's maybe a bit of panic setting in for Evil Geniuses, which is strange because when they were getting those advantages and the last time they were here on Inferno, they would take their time, they would, make sure they were set up properly, not try to just boulder their way into the site and get immediate frags, but this time they all boulder in from from the apartments and try to get fights immediately instead of playing the mind game. So MIBR doesn't really have much to think about except waiting for Evil Geniuses to go into their crosshairs.
If you really think about it, John, they did boulder in from T-spawn. There were just a few stops along the way.
Yes. Very true.
They're going to pressure the arch here. On the smoke fade. Penny posted. Jota finding the boundary player. Bye-bye, Walco. And I mean, they're going into the heavy site by far. This is a perfect setup to deal with the exact play they're trying to make. Good luck getting out here. Stan with the bomb has 6 points of health, and if he sticks his nose out of this apartment, it's going to get chopped right off.
Rush can help him. Rush
Maybe.
coming in.
Better kill about 3 here if that's going to happen, and it will not. No concern. Cool, calm, collected, clean.
Yeah. That sums up MIBR, I'd say, throughout this series so far, even though they've been threatened a lot at certain occasions. Once that first half ended, it really did feel like MIBR took control of Nuke. Even though it did go to overtime, it was just because of these hero efforts by Evil Geniuses and a site take that should have never happened in a 5v3, but it did. So right here, EG gets 3 rounds in a row. MIBR was like, it's okay, settle down, we got this. And once they get the guns back up, go back towards that cool, calm, collected play. And some nice nifty peeks there from Jota in particular at Banana in that last round. And this BRN now, who's taking the first fight. Walco goes down. Stan, oh, nice Molotov thrown. He actually burns BRN down from almost full health. And there you go, 4v4.
I need to lead it. What a peek from Stanislaw. Taking command here, just trying to flow in towards the site. Now pressure onto Exit. This could be a difference maker. This is a huge swing in the round. Exit's worked his way towards the new box. They know he's here now. The flashbang's there, but the kill is as well. Stanislaw, the Manislaw, taking command right now, and the bomb will be down. Do Jota and Turtle want to try this? Turtle's so out of position. Jota's going to back away. This is the round for EG, and it's a round they needed. What a way to wake up on the server. Stan delivers.
I like that decision, right? Because we've seen Stan continuously getting that opening frag and then being called to fall back after finding it. This time, he gets the opener and keeps going. It was with the Molotov, but still, he knows that space is available to him. charges up, gets a second, even the third, thanks to a flashbang that was thrown in support, and really Exit was having a tough time dealing with what was being thrown at him. So that was it. Once they get that site, they win the round. Turtle's waiting behind there at the bottom of Banana, though, trying to take out what would be Wiz, but she's going to survive, and both Wiz and Rush is barely alive with 7 and 6 HP, respectively. But still, they keep the guns, they win the fourth, and MIBR perhaps a little shaky on that round, but it's mostly Stan who just played out of his mind.
So still definitely a chance to make good on this half now. Delivered an opportunity from the hands of Stan. Their bank accounts. G, do they want to bring it back towards B? Having had that success, having gotten those entries, do they want to find that pressure again?
They keep finding the entries. I don't see a reason not to at least attempt it. Send Stan hunting again.
It's double play in towards the apartments right now. Wiz is setting up a flashbang for this banana control as it comes through. They avoid the nade damage. And actually, with those nades in towards longs, they might have a pretty good idea that MIBR is playing this a little further back towards the site. George got a smoke poised. Could drop this, isolate a fight, try for something here, but Stan taking further space towards B. Could be the object of their intentions. He's not found contact yet. Gotta be wondering. Gotta be wondering about this. MIBR have played 1B so many rounds now, John. The bomb's here. At what point do they call in the reinforcements?
I mean, 38 seconds left. You gotta make a decision now.
Smoke's going to be thrown. This is holding the rotations for sure. The shots out of apartments. They know there's at least 2 players here. So MIBR can't rotate. And to be fair, it doesn't seem like they should be. This is a take of the brackets. Jota burning. He has to bail out. He's so very low, but it is the attempted late take in towards B. George gets 1 kill. That might sell this. 25 seconds. They cannot leave. They're just leaving George here, but on the smoke fade, Henny will realize there's no one home. But that doesn't matter. They've been bamboozled for long enough. Here it goes. 15 seconds. No time to spare. The bomb's dropped. Someone's got to go back for it. Someone's got to go back for it. And they may not have time.
There's no one left.
DRN. He holds the line. Walco in the pool. He'll drown in it.
Oh, man. Look, I mean, you understand what EG were trying to do. Leaving George behind. That was something that worked really well against MIBR last time. Then the late rotation comes in. But it felt like MIBR was like, wait, guys, hold B. Do not leave B. Let's see what happens once this smoke fades. And once it does, it's only George. He gets cleaned out. MIBR call it and say, yep, no one else is here. Get on that B side as quickly as possible. And no one is able to get past here. What a fantastic hold and great patience shown from the Brazilian squad. 9-4 the score. Turtle can get the opener here. He's got it. Needs to make sure he doesn't get overzealous because he doesn't want to lose that gun to the EG side, and he indeed falls back here. Goes back to throw a nade, but that's all that's going to happen. Oh no, the nade actually gets a frag, and then Walco goes down, and look where Jota is. He's pushed up all the way, probably going to catch Wiz blindsided here. Wiz, no way he expects this. There you go, bomb dropped, and now Stan, he's gone too. Perfectly played by MIBR.
Relentless, relentless. Oh, you think we should sit back in our anti-ecos? No. Go forth and prosper. Double digits on the board for MIBR. Looking for one more as well. This, I mean, it looks like EG almost shell-shocked from the first, right? They've been sleepwalking in the majority of these rounds. Apart from a couple big individual plays from Stan and George, it has been very limited here. This is looking like the old EG.
And the old MIBR.
Yes, absolutely. In full control here. Still a pretty conservative brand from MIBR. We finally saw the aggression help, but it is very calculated as far as when it comes through.
No, it's Jota. He doesn't do it often on the CT side. I talked about this last night, but when he does, it's always so impactful when he chooses that moment to push up.
One more round to play in this half. Stan, he's been given banana. He can't get these B entry fights if they don't give them to him. Flashbang good. Doesn't quite connect, and Stanislaw punishes. There you go. Stan able to get off the angle. So an advantage found. Drax a second player over. Someone's going to need to go back for that bomb. It is way outside of T-Apps. maybe do that sooner rather than later. 50 seconds hitting the clock. Beginning to get concerned about the time. Rush is gone. Rush is gone. Rush
He's going to get
pulls
the
the
bomb.
short straw. Can he get anything more here? He does indeed. Exit posted. Now he needs to withdraw. He doesn't know if there's more support available here, and if he drops, that's a free site. 30 seconds on the clock. It might be this site anyway. With players through spawn, they're going to try and pressure on towards B. Having killed 2 towards this side. Exit has his hands full. 20 seconds. He's going to play tucked. Time is everything here in the dark corner. Do they check it or do they overlook? There's no time to spare. You can't make a blunder here. And there's the lineup. Exit's got both. Rush is challenging with the bomb. He can't be the one to do this. They need to plant. They need to plant, and they do it just in the nick of time. Exposed towards CT as well. There are so many ways that could have gone wrong, John, and instead it's Turtle in a 1v3, and Wiz soon to find a 5th at the very least from the Evil Geniuses.
Far from the convincing T side that we saw last time when EG were up against MIBR. Even in that round, right? They rotate around, they pincer on in from CT and Banana to try and make it work. And yes, it was successful initially, but Exit, I mean, he waits and waits and waits and gets a 2K, almost turns that round on its head, Mike.
Indeed. And last round, I mean, last time they had it, it was closer. Now with a 10-5 half, MIBR, a very strong chance to take the lead here as we head into the break.
Don't go chasing your demons and ghosts, 'cause you might find what you're looking for. You might find what you're looking for. Don't go chasing your demons and ghosts, 'cause you might find what you're looking for. You might find what you're looking for. We both the same without rock bottom. Let it go, but we come back to craving problems. Am I your favorite kind of shame? Do I make you wanna? And goes, 'cause you might find what you're looking for. You might find what you're looking for. Don't go chasing your demons and ghosts, 'cause you might find what you're looking for. You might find what you're looking for.
Double digits for MIBR, a substantial lead here. We saw that unravel for Evil Geniuses on Nuke, but Inferno tends to be a bit of a different story. So, recovery required for EG here, and they've shown some cracks. They have not really been able to put together sustained rounds or really impress us much so far. So, will that change here, John?
I mean, it'll depend on their CT side entirely, because I think part of the reason why they were able to find success in a tightly contested match last time was because of their T side performance. And, you know, EG was just playing MIBR like a fiddle on a lot of their takes and forcing them on rotations on fake util sets and fake util executions on opposite sites. So this time around, MIBR was not buying anything that EG was selling. They knew that EG liked to rotate back and forth, and they walked right into the trap most of the time. So, well, let's see if EG can batten down the hatches on their CT side and really get something done. But so far, not good. No.
They aren't battening down these hatches. These hatches have been blown off the hinges.
Yes, they're gone.
Wiz is trying to catch it out of the air and slam it right back down, but I don't think that's going to happen, man. Need a masterful performance out of this one, and he's already been spotted. The jig is up, the information's gained. BRN's in spawn. There is no safe haven or quarter to back out to. They'll double peek, and they will eliminate flawless there for MIBR. You want to talk about translating momentum? That's the way you do it. You come out the half swinging.
I mean, not even a frag for EG. Nothing. They just got swept off their feet, Mike, and not in a good way. Oh, goodness gracious. 11-5 for MIBR. They've already got the AKs up. They're not wasting any time expecting a force spy to come through here from EG. It's not going to. It's just going to be USPSs and a couple of pieces of utility bought up. One a decoy, interestingly enough, and the other one a flashbang. Not sure what the idea is with that decoy. Maybe they're going to throw it towards the A site. Appears to be the plan for Stan. I think that's where he threw it, Mike.
Certainly MIBR doesn't just walk into the stack, right? Information? Certainly they don't. They take the corner, they take the fight, they haven't seen anything. Cross smoke gets thrown. Ooh, there's one flashbang for Stan. Oh my goodness. What are we gonna get? Everybody's here. MIBR, you up to the task? You up to the task? Apparently so far you very much are. The flashbang doesn't net them anything. There's no player back fountain. One kill for Wiz, but no, it's all fine and dandy. Actually, surprisingly little damage, all things considered.
Yes, actually, you're right, Mike. And the flashbang was perfect. It blinded them all. They were kind of jumping into each other on the MIBR side. It's just that there was no one there to punish for EG because they lost a couple of players right off the initial attempted take by MIBR. So, tough break for EG. Everything went the way they wanted it to, but MIBR were better with the rifles up against those pistols. Now EG saying, okay, well, we tried, didn't work out. Let's go on to this next round where we will have a much better chance with the full rifles up. Util is still a little bit light. Far more serviceable in round number 3. 4 AKs and a Galil for MIBR, and they are going to take some early positioning up Banana, but it appears as though they don't want to stick around. They just wanted to see if anyone was going to peek around. Maybe they could punish with an early frag. Instead, now everyone appears to be regrouping towards the top of mid. You have BRN, who will retake that space up Banana in a lurk roll. This could pay dividends for BRN, especially if Evil Geniuses decide to push down Banana. That's a good frag. By exit onto Wiz, and again, EG, well, they faded back now. They're going towards CT.
That kill is such a space creator, right? So much of this focus is in towards mid. You've actually got space towards A or B. Had at least for a moment. 45 seconds. Fine, again, a concern, but Stan, speaking of time, mistimes that one. Gets caught with a smoke in hand, and, well, with a further smoke in towards the library, good luck, Rush. Only need to hold up for 30 seconds, but I don't think you can. Lineup is there. The trade is better. The peek out. The timing. The bomb now found, and that clock becomes an issue. It's right back into it. They've got double smoke potentially from Moto, but a CT smoke forward of it.
No way.
MIBR. Clock pressure. Once again a thing, but Walco trying to make another cheeky play. This time it gets caught, but the bomb is dropped. Jota has to commit. 7 seconds, they know. He knows they're out. He just has to go for the fight. The clock is everything but JOTA.
No.
3 seconds to spare. He's good for it. No margin for error.
Oh, I love that decision making by JOTA, right? He realizes, George, he's in the open. He's got nowhere to go. I got 4 seconds left to take the fight, but I've got the confidence to win it, and he absolutely does. What a play from JOTA, and MIBR continue their flawless streak here in this second half. 3 rounds in a row. Evil Geniuses, man, they needed that. What a hero play by Walco to drop the bomb right at his feet. And even at the end, George didn't have to overcommit. He could have just peeked around the corner, maybe put some pressure on. Instead, he's all the way up in the front of sight, and JOTA realizes he can take that fight and doesn't have to panic plant the bomb. Wow. First frag goes the way of MIBR again. It's George. I mean, he's just so desperate to have an impact, right? He knows his team needs some sort of spark, and not being able to provide it has to be frustrating.
I mean, they need to be shocked out of this stupor. That last round could have been theirs. Could have been theirs.
Yeah.
But ice in his veins for JOTA. And they're A-okay. Minute. Gonna hit the clock. Just about 5 seconds. And you know what? I'm curious here. This starting to get dangerous for EG, right? Next map's Dust 2. That's another spicy one for MIBR. They like a little Dust 2.
They don't. Oh, we'll get back to that maybe. No, yeah, I can talk about it. So they like to play it in the past, but they haven't been playing it much now because of the fact that it's going to go out of the map pool.
But nor has EG.
Yeah, exactly. EG plays it a lot less, that's for sure. Even before, it was announced that it'd be removed.
Well, cheeky block of the smoke. See if that can have an impact. They are once again going into the reinforced site, but if you just kill everybody, doesn't matter how many of them are here. So walk into a stack and dismantle it strategy. Never fails. MIBR just really like to do it on hard mode. Wait till there's 10 seconds, 15 seconds on the clock and execute into all 4. Why not?
It appears to be their new go-to, and I don't mind it, right? Like,
I do.
Look, listen.
I would like them to go to the soft side if they're going to spend the whole round figuring out where they're going.
True. In that situation, I understand. You don't want to walk into the stack. But they've shown us they want to wait until that very last moment to go for their executes with that outsider style of play. And it works well if you practice it repeatedly and know what you want to do every time you go to the site. But Wiz is going to get 2 right off the docket. JOTA and Turtle go down. There we go. Shot in the arm for EG.
A little bit of life here.
On the flank.
No time to run out of clock. If the clock comes to you, the Wiz comes to you. And now look at this. Rush down mid. That's a devastating blow. BRN's so isolated here, and he knows it. Honey, how does he even try and get into a position to help out his teammate, to help out his comrade? Stan's pushing in towards T-Apps. You got this hold in towards mid. BRN's getting naded down low, and he's eliminated. He'll take one, but his position revealed, and Rush able to finish the job. Life found here, a heartbeat at least for the Evil Geniuses. It's so late into the game. But there's something here. They have to build, though. And they won't have the off, I don't think. I don't think that was recovered. Wiz, the one casualty of the round that could actually be devastating, considering it's the gun that pushes them forward and back into this.
Well, at least EG goes from ice cold to lukewarm here.
Yeah.
That round, Something.
Signs of life. I mean, considering the end of Nuke in overtime and then into this map as well, even thinking about the rest of the series, if they can't convert here, you need some energy, some momentum.
And oftentimes, when you're dealing with teams that like to run the clock, pushing up is certainly something that you have to think about, getting that aggression going on the CT side. It's not going to work on a consistent basis because eventually they're just going to wait for you to push up and get an easy frag. But in that situation, Wiz hadn't done that the entire half and finally does with the big green, and it rings true. And it gives Rush the space to charge up and be on the flank there at Banana as well. So MIBR, let's see if they make an adjustment off that. Maybe a faster play is going to finally come through here. Turtle charging up, and there we go. They're already at the top. Banana. George is going to burn away, and Henny's Molotov 5v4 just like that. MIBR a chance to strike immediately, but they are not going to. They're going to take their time, you know, use that advantage. Don't want to rush into any situations here.
No, certainly not. Because he's still alive. Rush is still in this situation. And so they will avoid overcomplicating things. They don't have much utility either, John. They've got 3 smokes, which is nice. But no flashbangs. No more flashbangs. This actual take is going to be challenging. The Molotov can pressure pit. You can maybe get one in towards Graveyard. There's one into the Cubby. No one's actually watching the Cubby peek, and it's not spreading. Rush collects one. Wiz is here to play, and this lack of flashbangs is costing them clear vision, clear sight lines, clear punishes. Mean that Rush is walking away with 3, and well, it's all on to exit. Might find something here, but he's hemmed in, and he knows it. They know it. They even have the bomb. Flank will confirm things. 7 rounds now, 2 in a row for EG, and a chance to fight. The eco's going to come out for MIBR. This gap is going to start to close before you know it.
Good 3K by Rush, you know, to shut things down at the A site, but for me, it's MIBR overthinking it. They had an opening frag towards the B site. It looked like they were posturing for a very quick hit onto said site. The thing is, they backed off. It would have been the right play just to go because there was only one player there. I can't help but thinking a past MIBR squad, maybe with Cello on it, would have gone for that play and just full sent it to the B site. But now with JOTA calling, says, no, let's slow it down. You know, we don't have to overcommit there. And in the end, they walk into the stack site with 4 players waiting for them. Or 3 players, I should say. Nice nade. That does a ton of damage. Another one comes through. Not as much, but this should be an easy clean for Walco. And now George gets the nade frag onto Henny. This was the dynamic duo, remember? Last time they played here. Walco and George on B.
They dropped something like near 60 kills together.
That's right.
To be the difference makers in that. I think 30 for George, 25 for Walco. You need to pick up the pace if that's going to be the case, but George starting to stack those numbers. He is top of the board again for his team. The problem is just no one is positive, so a lot of ground to cover. That's certainly not impossible. That's going to be wild when Turtle gets a 2K and then a bomb plant out of a P250 no armor. Be wild, John. All right, how would he do it?
Yeah.
Peek out Balk, insta delete the guy who's lane. Be rush. Or get erased by A1S bullets. Oh, there's the insta delete. A little bit slow, but once he pulled the trigger, he did find the kill. Problem was, Little Stan was there for the mop up.
The expected result in that round with not much being brought forward by MIBR. The utility connecting early on. George gets one with the nade, Walco with the rifle, and afterwards MIBR, hey, look, 1 frag from Turtle at least, but that's all they have to speak of. So, Evil Geniuses build up a little bit of economy. Confidence perhaps flowing again. Here's MIBR's chance to put a stranglehold potentially on this match. Henny, Molotov, he's got to get out of there. We'll throw the smoke for it, and he takes quite a bit of damage before throwing said smoke. Stanislaw going to the apartments, throws util, and then backs off to porch. EG a little bit more presence early on here towards the B site with 3 players, but Walco just wanted to toss that util, and then he backs off and leaves it up to only Wiz now. We've seen this look before from EG, right? Where they just leave Wiz with the op trolling that B site, and everyone else stacks onto A, and it's the right call again.
Stan, entries here strong from Turtle. Henny is dropped, and there's a little bit of a follow-up from Walco. Taking down the numbers, perhaps Turtle checked. And they know it, and out in the open, George still makes good.
How does he win that fight?
The difference maker again here puts it all onto exit. No support available. Is it creeping in towards the graveyard? They're at least for now going to stick around towards Moto. Wiz has a bunch of util as well. He could try and set them up into this retake. Exit might actually have the perfect position for this play. They'll assume he's either towards site or back in towards the pit. Are they ready for this graveyard play? One's watching. Does George clear it? George clears it. Good awareness, but he doesn't win the fight. And now pressure on. The kill is there just in the nick of time with the kit. I think Wiz has enough.
He's good.
All good. No problem. And they'll keep his comeback rolling, though it does get very hairy.
I don't know how George stays alive walking into the angle drive when it's being held by MIBR. Just what a frag. And then finally goes down, but Wiz is good for the trade. And EG finding a way, slipping in, making it work. And they're almost at double digits. That's 3 rounds in a row for them. What's 14-6? And I mean, MIBR were cruising, but now they have to take a step back, go for an eco. We have seen them find success on these ecos. In particular, I think yesterday they were doing really well on them.
It's actually 14-5, John.
Was it really? Oh, wow.
Yep. EG have run it back entirely. Since they won around 4 in a row now. A lot more ground to cover, to be fair. And the economy not going to allow for much in this. But, as we saw on Nuke, sometimes these reduced rounds are actually the most deadly. They pick up the pace, and Walco finds his first. Knows he could be under pressure. He's actually brought George into support as well. So if they try and go for the peak round towards the well, George is ready. They're a little stuck here. The poke back in, the peek back in, the clear. They've kind of stalled out at the wrong time. Henny with a big kill, though. Can't really swing. He is going to.
No way.
George lines him up. And it's all good. The hero of the map continues his campaign to contest this one. He's up to 20 kills. He's finally positive. The only one on his team, and for the first time in a very long time, EG as a player in the black.
They need. I mean, I talked about it before. They need that spark. George was the player that provided it last time, and now he's back into that role. I got a little scared for him for a moment, right, when he whiffs that spray a little bit, and they managed to get around pillar, because oftentimes we've seen that happen. Then a poke around the corner, a deagle shot, and the player's dead, and all of a sudden things start to fall apart. But George kept his composure, reset his spray, and got both players. So, 10th round found, double digits for EG, 6, make that 5 rounds in a row found for them. And the deficit is only 4 now. MIBR will have the rifles again. But those T-side woes, rearing their ugly head up once more.
See, MIBR's mistake was they put out a Twitter poll. Should we close this map? Yes or no? I will abide by the results. It's just not going their way, man. Votes aren't closed just yet. But so far, it's looking a little hairy. Turns out direct democracy leads to some interesting things. Isn't that right, Bodie McBoatface? Ooh, nade's over. George, technically being credited with that kill. George and Walco combining for it, and that's the best kind of opener. The kind where you don't even have to see anybody.
Walco's still waiting here. Aggressively postured towards the half wall. BRN moves a little bit, thinking about it. Now he's got the reinforcements. More than thinking about it. They're going to go, and great flashbang thrown by George. Supports Walco for one more at least, but then Walco gets traded out. So
This
they're going to charge rescue 2 more, sorry.
This wombo combo of Walco and George is starting to heat up here once again, and MIBR, they're kind of stuck into this. They are going to stick around. They are going to continue to commit in towards this fight, but now Wiz is coming to support. So even with that Molotov in towards Nubox, George can comfortably reposition JOTA. The money is once again very hairy for MIBR, and he's kind of thinking about trying to back this away. Tucked in towards the logs, the push in from Stanislaw. He might just get caught if they wait and clock him. This is devastating for MIBR. And George will do him the mercy, I think, of killing him right before that timer expires. He does indeed.
I got to talk about George again. I'm going to pump his tires a little bit because
talk about him.
He's just so good, right? Even when he's not implicated in a fight directly, his util usage is also fantastic. I think he leads the team in flashes thrown, and right there, a perfect setup for Walco to go around that corner and get himself a 2K. And afterwards, he gets the last frag. So the man can literally do it all. He plays all the roles so well. And that's why he is just, in my opinion, one of the up-and-coming stars, if not already there, in North America. Bjorn's going to get the opener. Henny gets the trade. Uh-oh, this is problematic. 1 round going the way of MIBR. Could spell trouble for EG, given this scoreline.
And Jota's got a cheeky angle when that smoke fades. If Stanislaw keeps looking, if Stanislaw keeps going, This is gonna get real weird right now. We have very MIBR thing to put it away on the pistol round. Stan controlling this rotation. If JOTA comes into clear
Stan.
bedroom. JOTA knows. There's the kill eventually coming through. A little labored, but he still gets it. That's all that matters. That's the round. They've got the ace sight. There's money available for EG, but not enough to justify throwing these away. Rush wants to give it a look. George hasn't flinched. This bomb's going down. And that could be map point found for MIBR.
That round is decided at the top of Banana, and you see the trades going the way of MIBR, of course, with 2 down for EG and only 1 loss. That's exit. With everyone pincering in. JOTA, BRN, and Henny getting on the action with a frag apiece. Henny can find himself another one. There it is. George peeking through for, I guess the reason being that they still have enough money to buy in the next round, so they want to try and do some damage to the economy of MIBR, but it's not going to happen. Rush goes down, and now it'll be 15-11.
The hero play.
Opportunities to close it up for MIBR. Yeah, yep. I mean, look, it was just an attempt to try and do something because they realized their backs are against the wall and they need to buy up anyway in this next round. So yeah.
Gotta give it a try, John. Gotta give it a try. It's not gonna happen now. The pause comes in. Axed will have his say. Get in their ears. Talk them through it. 4 more rounds. All they need. Done it before. Do it again. That's my Axed impression. Maybe a little more yelling.
Probably.
No, I don't think he's yelling in this context. Sometimes when he was first added into this team way back in the RBG days, one of the things that he actually brought, and this is a very different roster at the time, only Wiz and Walco were on it at the moment, was just an injection of life in terms of they would sometimes just get very quiet in the comms. Literally having a loud, vocal person like Axe to sort of shock the system and get them going again was a valuable piece. Don't know if they need that anymore. A lot more experience. Guys like Rush and Stan have been here before in these high-pressure scenarios. Rush was in a little high-pressure scenario on Inferno this one time. You may have heard of it. But still, having that coach to maybe get you out of the doldrums, get you knowing that you can still compete here, it's a valuable piece. JOTA is low.
For sure.
BRN posted towards top of Banana. Walco takes some space, but with him secured in towards the sandbags here, there's still between Walco and BRN. This could be huge if it does come to pass. Smoke up, pressure on for the A player. Counter nade, that's meaty. Takes it. Not feeling too healthy right now.
BRN still around that half ball where he likes to play on this T side. But again, he wants the reinforcements to come through. It feels like this is going to end up at the B site, as it did previously when they had this type of presence towards mid. 32 seconds left. It kind of has to at this point with the bomb committing towards Banana. BRN's backing off, and okay, they're going to give the bomb to BRN. JOTA goes for a peek down. Did they...
They're just going A now. They've lost the contact. The rotation's going on here, but it's a shutdown. The wall is built up, and they're out of time. MIBR cannot contest this round. They're going to back off with the 2 guns they've still got. A little bit of a catastrophe here. And EG closed the gap to just 3.
I was completely bamboozled. Or not bamboozled. I was flabbergasted by what was going on. Flummoxed. Why? what was happening? BRN's backing off. He's tossing the bomb there. Walco gets 2 pretty easily. They take 2 1v1 duels. Don't even challenge at the same time. Make it easy for Walco. Should have just gone to B at that point, but...
I think the logic is probably if you find contact and you win the duel towards B, you distract the player's archers and then you can swing into them. But
maybe if you have 40 seconds left.
Not perfectly coordinated. Yeah, it doesn't wind up working out as they drew it up.
That's the type of play that works when you're a team that executes around the 45-second mark, not a team that executes around the 25-second mark.
A little bit of nade exchange. George is still gonna. Oh, that's the one.
That nade.
That was the one. Here's the jump up. They get the kill. George, can he get away? The Molotov might do him in, but no, he's stuck. He's stuck. He's stuck. He can't get out. Unfortunately for him, nobody's going to peek off the back of that because he would have been a dead man. Had to wait out the flames. He's been able to back away. They've done so much damage early. Exit out of play. BRN limping. That's a great start for the Evil Geniuses as they look to send this economy crumbling for MIBR. Without a bomb plant here, this might just be an eco. The loss bonus is maximized. Probably keep it going, but the site's been lost. The bomb, though, down onto the cobblestones. It's been recovered. The plant coming through the late flower pot boost. That's punishing again. And now JOTA, his focus is distracted. He knows he has to plant this while the smokes are up, or he's a dead man, and they're coming through. 1 kill in for BRN. That was a little overzealous, perhaps, but the bombs dropped. The bombs dropped, and it's going to be clean. Only 1 casualty. No bomb plant allowed. Another 3-piece for George as he's looking to reclaim his lofty totals.
Oh, goodness. George has just been that fire that Evil Geniuses have needed. Like you mentioned, another few frags racked up in that round. 15-13, still map point for MIBR, but look, I mean, they did manage to smoke off CT and get some presence on the site, but JOTA fakes the plant twice. He probably just should have tried committing it at that point because the odds of you being successful in that situation are very low. The bomb plant is valuable. It would have meant util much more than what we see here. Instead, only exit has a full set, and there's 3 smokes and a Molotov outside of that. Not in the best of positions here are MIBR. And it was looking so very good for them, wasn't it? 14-5. And only 1 round won since that point for them. It's only going to take 1 more, of course, and this will be over. And this attempted comeback by Evil Geniuses will be a moot point. But they gotta get it. Find a way.
They gotta get that one. And the nerves are up now. Tepid response early on here. 4 players committed towards A, expecting something to happen here, but it is grouping up for the banana hit. And now George needs to get there. He needs to get back to join his teammate. He's gotten a reload on the util, but it's not the ideal util. It's just a nade and a flash. There's no molly. There's no smoke here. They're not going to be able to stall out this take. And now the util starts to sail over. The execute's coming in from MIBR. This floats the rotate. 30 seconds on the clock. By their standards, this is a quick one.
Yeah.
But HE punishing, but they've got the forward ground. They've got the foothold. The attempted swinging off the flashbang. EG thinks this is a fake. They're not quite fully committing. The bomb's now being planted. It's being tapped at the very least. An exchange here on the oranges. Wiz coming through just in the nick of time to keep his teammate alive. But BRN and Henny, they find the kills. And now it's all on the stand, but there's no time. 6 seconds, just enough. MIBR flirting with disaster on that clock again, but Henny will put this one away, and that's going to be the map. MIBR move up into the lead here, coming in with a 1-map disadvantage. Now they just need 1 more, John, and they will close.
Oh boy, yeah, EG for whatever reason outplayed themselves in that one. They could have just pushed up, gone through the smoke. The flashes were fantastic, right? In support, just get Wiz out there and start firing sooner. Instead, they wait and wait and wait.